Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 14-5 Viking girls are getting ready to do battle in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference as they take on the conference-leading Elk Mound Mounders, who are currently sitting at 11-0 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference and 19-1 overall. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Mounders and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll send it out to Colfax High School, where we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Viking pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls basketball game as the Colfax Vikings prepare to do battle with the Dunn-St. Croix Conference leading Elk Mound Mounders. The 14-5 Vikings, who are 9-2 in Dunn-St. Croix Conference play, are looking to upset the conference leaders and get a little payback for the loss they suffered to the Mounders earlier this season. Now, in addition, they would like to hang on to that number 2 spot in the conference following last Friday's 55-45 win over the Mondovi Buffaloes. Now, in that win over the Buffaloes, the Vikings took control in the first half and then seemed to put the game on cruise control to hang on for the victory. Leading the way for the Vikings was the performance of 5'7" junior McKenna Shipman, who hit on 6 field goals, one of which was a three-pointer, and went 7 for 11 from the free throw line for 22 points. 5'6" sophomore Kaysen Goodell followed by nailing 4 field goals, including a three-pointer, and went 3 for 5 from the charity stripe, tying her season high of 12 points. And 5'10" junior Jeanette Hajdukovic sunk 4 field goals and went 3 for 7 from the free throw line for 11 points. So far on the season, leading the way for the Vikings in scoring is Shipman, who's scoring over 17 points per game. She's followed by Hajdukovic, who's averaging just over 7 points per game, and 5'9" senior Ainsley Olson, who adds 6. Now, leading the way on the boards this season is Shipman, who's averaging right around 7 rebounds per game, while Hajdukovic is pulling down nearly 6, and Olson is grabbing over 5 rebounds per game. The Elk Mound Mounders are currently 19-1 on this season and 11-0 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference. The Mounders were also in action on Friday when they defeated the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 80-32. Look for 5'7" sophomore Ellie Shizik to lead the Mounders in scoring, as she's averaging 15 points per game. In addition, she's hitting on over 36% of her three-point attempts. Now, Shizik is followed by 5'4" senior Tori Blaskowski, who's putting up over 11 points per game. Adding to the scoring is 5'2" senior Brooke Emery, who adds another 7.5 points per game. On the boards, 5'9" senior Stella Rude leads the way for the Mounders, pulling down around 5 rebounds per game. Thus far on the season, the Mounders are scoring an average of 57 points per game, while giving up only 33. On the other hand, the Vikings are averaging 50 points per game, while giving up 37. Coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Courtney Serrar on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN-TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again on Coach's Corner, we're talking with Viking Girls head coach Courtney Serrar. And Coach, before we talk about tonight's big game, we need to take a look back at last Friday's matchup when the Vikings defeated the Mondovi Buffaloes 55-45. Your comments about that game?
Yeah, I thought we played really well. We had a stretch second half where, we were stuck on, it was like 47 or something like that for quite a while. We just couldn't get back in or couldn't get a shot to drop. And, they, crawled back into it. But basketball's a game of runs. And I was happy with the way that the girls responded. And, we did a much better job taking care of the ball and made some free throws down the stretch. So it was a good win.
Well, tonight, we don't have to waste any more time on anything else. It's a game people have been looking forward to as the Vikings are going to take on the Dunn-St. Croix Conference leading Elk Mound Mounders. What can you tell us about those Mounders?
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they're the top of the conference for a reason. I think they've only lost one game, all year. We're definitely gonna have our work cut out for us. So, I think it's always a good one for the communities, Colfax and Elk Mound being so close together. I'm excited to, kind of give them another, go at it. And I don't think it could get any worse. So hoping, that we take a step in the right direction. So. Yeah,
the last time these two teams met was back on January 5th, and the Mounders came out on top 51-31. The Vikings did a pretty good job of holding the Mounders' leading scorer, Ellie Shizik, under her average. However, they had a more difficult time dealing with Tori Blaskowski, who put up 16 points. How do you deal with those two players?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I thought, we were just kind of out of sorts. It wasn't, our typical defense that we, usually comes ready to play and does a good job. We still held them under their scoring average, but, it seemed like we were just a step late to, basically every, category of the game. So, and, we had 32 turnovers that game. So more turnovers than points isn't going to bode well, no matter who you're playing. So, hoping to limit that, turnover margin this time and just do a better job taking care of the ball and just, not being so, I don't know, it just seemed like we were kind of, like I said, out of sorts. And, I think it'll be a great game, going into towards the end of the year and understanding, when you play tough opponents towards the end of the year, that's when you have to be at your best. So hoping that the girls come ready to play.
Well, also on the 5th, the Vikings did have some difficulty putting the ball through the rim. In fact, only Ainsley Olsen was able to hit double figures, and that was 10 points. So are there any adjustments offensively that we should look for?
I mean, I'm a firm believer that the bigger the game, the more, your big dogs got to come, ready to play. So I know they did a good job. But they did a good job on all of our kids because I think it was, our own fault essentially. So I'm interested to see, how their defense adjusts with the adjustments that we make, handling their press and that kind of stuff. Because, honestly, we didn't really even get that many attempts to look at the hoop because we struggled to get it across, half court. So, we made some adjustments there and we've been talking about it. So I'm interested to see then, how different kids step up and, hopefully get more looks at the hoop without, so many turnovers. So.
Well, any way you put it, tonight's going to be a pretty exciting night. And Coach Sarrar, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings can even up that season record against the Mounders.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The 14-5 Vikings are trying to hold on to their second place spot in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference. Meanwhile, the Elk Mound Mounders are looking to keep their conference record unblemished and take another step closer to capturing the conference crown. Now, these two teams met back on January 5th, and the Mounders came out on top in that one, 51-31. Now, the Vikings would like to get some payback and show that they're better than that score indicated. So, the stage is set for some exciting girls high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV. So in just a moment, we'll send it out to Colfax High School, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the action of tonight's girls game between the Colfax Vikings and the Elk Mound Mounders. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 are proud to announce that this spring they will be your viewing home for Eau Claire Cowboys football. Check out www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for times and dates. That's Eau Claire Cowboy football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
And the long pass down and in by Hajdukovic.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking girls varsity basketball game.
Long pass down the floor to Olsen. She stops, puts it up, she hit it!
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
Let's gets it over to the left side to Shipman, three-pointer. She hit it! McKenna Shipman with the three puts the Vikings on top, 3-2. Good evening and welcome to Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, Jeff Gust on the camera, and we're getting ready to bring you exciting girls high school basketball action. And Dan, it couldn't get much more exciting than this. You have first place Elk Mound Mounders, who are unbeaten in the conference at 11-0, taking on the second place Colfax Vikings, who are at 9-2.
Yeah, Elk Mound trying to go undefeated. Colfax wants to be the spoiler tonight.
Yeah, the season's winding down to the point where actually being able to catch Elk Mound, they're going to need some help from some pretty unlikely sources for that to happen. But they can stay in the hunt with a win tonight, and that would be pretty important.
Yeah, Elk Mound can shoot from the outside, and the Colfax is going to have to play pretty tight man-to-man defense tonight. and try to get some open looks. Maybe move that ball inside to Ainsley Olsen or Jeanette Hajdukovic.
So, you can tell we have a pretty loud pep band here tonight, and that's just the way it ought to be.
Yeah.
So, we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back with starting lineups right after this. You're tuned to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV and Viking TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
And welcome back to Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. We are just a couple minutes away from the start of tonight's game between the Colfax Vikings and the Elk Mound Mounders. Want to remind you that tonight's Colfax High School basketball game is being brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. And Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax with drinks that taste as good as their names sound. Plus, they're healthy. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV. Some other action in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference tonight. We have the Mondovi Buffaloes at the Spring Valley Cardinals. Glenwood City Hilltoppers are at the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. And the Oma Plum City Wolves are taking on the Boyceville Bulldogs. Dan, I think you've got time. Why don't you go through the starters in tonight's game?
Yeah, here's the starters for the Elk Mound Mounders. They're going to go at senior 5'2", number 3, Brooke Emery. 5'7", sophomore, number 5, Ellie Shizik. 5'5", junior, number 15, Lydia Levra. 5'4", senior, number 23, Tori Baskowski. And 5'9", senior, number 35, Stella Rude. For the Vikings, they're going to go with 5'6", sophomore, number 4, Kason Goodell. 5'5", junior, number 12, JC Bovey. 5'9", senior, number 14, Ainsley Olsen. 5'10", junior, number 40, Jeanette Hajdukovic. And 5'7", junior, number 42, McKenna Shipman.
I'll be curious to see if we get some vision of Molly Hydorn coming off the bench tonight. She's coming off a sprained ankle, and she is suited up. She does have the ankle brace, so it looks like we might get some Molly Hydorn action tonight as well. That'll be a nice plus for the Vikings.
Yeah, she's always a big part to this Colfax offense. So
now we're going to send it down to the scorer's table and the national anthem with members of the Colfax High School Choir.
Would everyone please stand and able? Remove your hats and place your hand over your heart to honor the flag as the national anthem is sung by members of the Colfax High School Choir.
Stripes and bright stars to the peril of the sky.
And now we'll send it right back down to the scorers table for the starting lineups.
Colfax High School for tonight's Dunn-St. Croix Girls Basketball matchup between the Elk Mound Mounders and the Vikings. Introducing the starters for the Mounders. Number 3 is senior Brooklyn Emery. Number 5 is sophomore Ellie. Number 15 is junior Lydia Ledra. Number 23 senior Corey Blaskowski. Number 25 senior Stella. And now, starting line for your
Those who are the starting lineups from the scores table for tonight's game. And we're going to have Autumn Niggeman read the sportsmanship announcement. Ran into a pretty quiet microphone down there. Anyway, out on the floor are the Mounders, and that's Emery, Shizik, Levra, Blaskowski, and Rude. And for the Vikings, we have Goodell, Bovey, Olson, Hajdukovic, and Shipman. Olson stepping into the center circle to jump against Stella Rude. Vikings will be going from left to right. Officials are waiting for the band to clear out of the way. And they're pretty much out. And now all the equipment's out of the way, so nobody's gonna crash into something and get injured. Ball goes up. Tip gets controlled by the Mounders. That's Ellie Shizik with it on the left side to Blaskowski over to the right side. That was Lydia Levera to Blaskowski. Now down into the left corner to Shizik. Back out high. They've got it over on the right side to Blaskowski. Down underneath to Rude. Rude tries to go up with it. Shot's no good. Ball gets tipped back out high. And the Mounders hang on to possession. Levera with it on the left side. Gets it over to Rude on the right. She takes it to the free throw line and over to Emery on the left. Back out high to Shizik. To Levera, to Blaskowski, to Shizik from three. She hit it. Ellie Shizik with the three-pointer. She's known for that. Vikings get it in. Shipman with on the dribble. Into the forecourt, and it was last tip by the Mounders. It goes out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball. 3-0. Elk Mound on top, just underway here from Colfax High School. Bovey with it, loses the handle, gets it over to Shipman, to Hajdukovic at the top of the key. Hajdukovic feeds it over to Olson in the right corner to Hajdukovic underneath. She puts it up, partially blocked. Tries to put it back up again. Shipman gets it. She puts it up. It rolls around and falls out. And Shizik comes away with it for the Mounders. She comes down the lane, and we're going to just get an out-of-bounds call for the Vikings. That could have been a variety of different things that time. There could have been a foul, could have been a travel. Yeah, just out of bounds. Olsen gets it over to Shipman. Shipman up across the timeline. Down into the corner to Goodell. Back out to Shipman out high. Tries to drive into the lane. Puts the shot up and it crawls in. Puts the Vikings on the board. 3-2 Mounders on top. 16-19 to go in the first half. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Goodell against Blaskowski. That's the first foul on anybody. So the Mounders get it to Lever on the left side. Out to the top of the key to Blaskowski. Blaskowski over to the right side. That's Shizik. Gets it into Rude. Then out for a three-pointer from Brooke Emery. 6-2 Elk Mound on top. Shipman to Olsen. Olsen on the dribble. Tries to feed it up and overshot Bovey. And we have a couple of substitutes, and there's the Molly Hydorn we were looking for. Hydorn and Jordan Bovey into the lineup for the Vikings. Blaskowski with it down the right side. She gets double teamed and she's going to get called for a travel. She tried to go up and the back foot came back down again before she got rid of the ball, and that's a travel. Shipman with it, looks for the long pass, doesn't have it, gets it to Hajdukovic, back to Shipman, quickly down the floor, drives the lane, kicks it out to Jordan Bovey, and it goes through her hands out of bounds. Vikings show a little bit of nerves, I think, tonight. That's almost what it looks like. Pretty good collision between Blaskowski and Shipman in the backcourt. No foul called. They get it over to Shizik on the right side, to Emery, then swinging it over to Blaskowski, to Rude, out high to Emery. On the right, to Levra. Levra cross-court pass over to the left side to Rude, to Emery. Emery out to Blaskowski, to Shizik. Tries to feed it, and the ball got tipped but picked up by Rude for the Mounders. Blaskowski with it at the top of the key. Feeds it over into the right corner to Shizik. Out to Lever, three-pointer on the way. She hit it. That's 3 threes for the Mounders, accounting for all their points.
Yeah, good ball movement by Elk Mound to find the open lady.
Olsen gets it over to Hydorn. In the forecourt, three-pointer on the way from Bovey, no good. Rebound taken down by Olsen. Out to Shipman. Shipman feeds it to Olsen in the lane. She tries to go up, draws the foul. That's first foul on the Mounders. And Olsen's first shot is up, no good. The foul, by the way, was on Shizik. It's her first. Olsen's second shot, that one's good. 9-3, Mounders on top. They get the ball in. This is Shizik. She loses the handle but gets it back. Tries to get it towards the lane, but we're going to get a reaching foul called on Shipman. She knew it. Mounders inbound. Blaskowski with it on the left side. Drives underneath, gets it to Rude, but she lost it out of bounds, and the Vikings will have it. And the Vikings need to capitalize on some of these stops they're getting.
Yeah, you got to just keep that offense spread and work it inside to Hajdukovic or Olsen.
Olsen loses the handle, scrum for it on the floor. We got to get a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. Ball comes into Hydorn. She brings it across the timeline. On the left side, gets it out high to Olsen. Over to the right side to Bovey. Cross-court pass to Hajdukovic. Takes it to the free throw line, feeds it to Shipman. Shipman lays it up and puts it in. Kenna Shipman with the layup.
She has 4 points.
9-5. Mounders on top. Shizik feeds it down underneath to Rude. And Stella Rude puts it in. 11-5. Vikings bring it down the floor. Ball gets tapped away from Hydorn, but it goes out of bounds. So it'll be Vikings ball. Shipman gets it into Hydorn. Hydorn between the circles. Changes direction back to the right. Picks up the dribble. Feeds it over to Olsen on the right wing. Down into the right corner to Shipman. Shipman to Olsen. Backs into the lane. Feeds it back out to Hydorn. Three-pointer off the back of the iron. No good. Rebound. Hajdukovic has it. Gets it to Shipman. Overshoots it, but Olsen chases it down. Turnaround jumper. It's good. Olsen from about 8 brings the Vikings to within 4. 11-7. Sounds like a backwards convenience store, if you ask me. Whistle and a foul. It's going to be a foul on Olsen. She fouled Stella Rude.
That'll be her first.
Nigaman into the lineup for the Vikings. Brooke Emery gets it into Shizik. They get it out high. That's Levra. Over to Shizik on the left side. Takes it to the free throw line. Over to the right side to Levra. Over to Shizik. Shizik a long three off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Nigaman, and down the floor come the Vikings. Jordan Bovey on the dribble between the circles. Feeds it over to the right side. Or check that, that's the left side. Now it's over on the right side with Bovey. Out to Nigaman at the top of the key. To the left side to Shipman. Back to Bovey. Launches a three. She hit the three! Autumn Nigaman hit the three-pointer. Brings the Vikings to within 1, 11-10. Mounders bring it back down the floor. This is Shizik, drives the baseline. Shot got blocked by Hajdukovic. And here come the Vikings right back down the floor, looking to take the lead. Hydorn with it. Between the circles to the top of the key. Feeds it over to the left side to Nigaman, to Hajdukovic. Back out to Hydorn. Over to Bovey, three-pointer on the way. She hit the three, and the Vikings go on top, 13-11. And a timeout on the floor called by Elk Mound. So with 11:13 to go, Vikings 13, Mounders 11. Funny how that works. And you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Lots of confusion going on the scoreboard. The score matched the time, 11-13, and the Vikings steal the pass, but it went out of bounds. Jordan Bovey stole it and then dribbled it right on the sideline. So the Mounders get it back. Down the floor come the Mounders with Shizik on the dribble between the circles over to the right side to Blaskowski. They get back out high, feed it down underneath to Blaskowski. Back out high to Shizik, she launches the three, no! Rebound taken down by Hajdukovic, and we're gonna get a foul underneath. Foul's gonna be on Lydia Lever, I believe it is. Third foul, or second foul on Mondo, or on Elk Mound. Let's have the right team here. Vikings with the ball. Bovey with it in the backcourt. Gets it over to Hydorn. Long pass down to Nigaman. Lays it up and it goes in. 15-11, Vikings on top. Blaskowski with it. Feed it down into the forecourt to Shizik. Shizik on the dribble. Drives into the lane. Feeds it down underneath and the shot goes up and in. That's by Chloe Dummer. So 15-13, Vikings on top. Mounders steal the pass, get it over to Blaskowski, feed it underneath to Dummer, and she puts it up and in. The game is tied at 15. Coming up on 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Hydorn with it across the timeline on the right side. She puts on the brakes, gets it out to Bovey, to Nigaman. Nigaman drives towards the lane, feeds it over to the left side. Three-pointer is good! Jordan Bovey with the three-pointer.
Bovey with 6 points.
And down the floor come the Mounders. Blaskowski on the dribble. She gets it over to the left side, down into the left corner. Thought about the left baseline, it wasn't there. Gets it out high to Shizik. Shizik over to Lever on the right wing. Back out high to Blaskowski. To the left wing, that's Shizik with it. Out to Lever, to Blaskowski on the right side. They get it out to Moore, then to Lever on the left side. Feed it down underneath to Moore. She goes up and draws the harm. Shot is not good. Carly Moore goes to the line for two. Foul is going to be on Hajdukovic. It's her first. First shot is up, and it's good. (18-16). Olsen back into the lineup for the Vikings. Second shot on the way. It's good. 18-17. Vikings by one. Shipman with it. Gets it into Olsen. Olsen back to Shipman. Shipman on the dribble in the backcourt. Changes direction, crosses the timeline to Hydorn. Hydorn takes it to the free throw line. Gets it back out to Olsen. Olsen over to Bovey. Two-pointer on the way, just inside the arc. It's no good. Rebound was taken down by Roeder, and down the floor come the Mounders. Shizik with it on the left side. Gets it out high to Blaskowski, down into the left corner. That's Roeder. Tries the left baseline, tries to put it up, and she got fouled. Foul's going to be on Jordan Bovey. That'll be her first. 15th foul on the Vikings. 8:29. Allie Roeder's first shot is good. Ties the game at 18. Second shot on the way. No good. Rebound taken down by Olsen. Gets it over to Bovey. Bovey between the circles. Over to Olsen on the left wing. Into the lane to Bovey, and she got fouled in the lane on the floor. And I think it's going to be on Brooke Emery. It is. It's her first. Third team foul on the Mounders. Ball comes into Hajdukovic. To Shipman, turns around, puts up a three, and she hit it. Hannah Shipman with a three. Vikings back up on top, 21-18. Shizik gets it into the forecourt. Now they get it down along the baseline to Rude. Over to Blaskowski in the lane. She turns, puts it up. We're going to go to whistle in the lane. And another foul on Bovey. That'll be her second, sixth team foul. That means after these free throws by Blaskowski, the Mounders will be in the bonus. First shot is up off the back of the iron. Vikings on top, 21-18. Make that 19. Vikings by 2, just under 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Ball comes into Olsen. In the backcourt, under some pressure, gets it over to Hydorn. Hydorn across the timeline. Top of the key, takes it over to the left side to Goodell. Goodell out high to Olsen. Back over to Goodell. Goodell feeds it in the lane to Hajdukovic, turns around, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Rude for the Mounders. To Shizik across the timeline. That's Roeder with it. Getting it over to Rude. On the right side, she tries the right baseline. Tries to put it up. Backhanded layup, and it goes up and in. We're all tied at 21. Vikings
Rude
inbound Olsen. To Shipman. On the right side. Cross-court pass over to Hajdukovic. Tries to feed it out to Olsen. Ball gets knocked away, but Goodell has it. Goodell between the circles. Takes it over toward the left side. Still on the dribble. Over to Olsen on the right. Olsen with little head and shoulder fake. Gets it to Shipman. Puts up the three. No good. Olsen with the rebound. And we're going to get a foul on the floor. And the foul is going to be on Brooke Emery. It's her second. Ainsley Olsen actually came flying out of nowhere to try and grab that, and Brooke Emery got a piece of Olsen. Inbound pass to Hydorn. Over to Keltner, who just came in. To Goodell between the circles. Feeds it over to the right side to Hydorn. Hydorn tries to drive lane, and she drew the harm. Shizik committed the foul. Hydorn's going to go to the line for 2. That's the 5th foul on Elk Mound. Hydorn's first shot is no good. Rims around. All tied at 21. 6:32 to go in the first half. Second shot on the way. That one's good. Vikings on top, 22-21. Mounders to inbound. Full court pressure. Ball gets stolen by Goodell. Feeds it over to Hajdukovic. Then out to Keltner. Puts it up and good. Keltner from 12 along the baseline. 24-21. Vikings on top. Shizik with it across the timeline. Between the circles, puts it up from a long way, banks it off the square and puts it through for 3. We're tied at 24. Hydorn with it, gets it to Goodell. Goodell. And timeout called by the Vikings. Kason Goodell kind of lost track of time and was dribbling around in circles back in the backcourt. And the Vikings call timeout. So with a timeout on the floor, it's 24-24. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Back here at Colfax High School, Rick Olsen, along with Dan Petchow, Jeff Gusta on the camera. Vikings with the ball, Hydorn with it. Across the timeline. Gets it over to Shipman on the right side. Cross court over to Hydorn. Feeds it to Shipman on the left side of the lane. Turnaround jumper's good. Vikings back on top. 26-24. 5:34 remaining in the first half. Glaskowski with it in the backcourt, being guarded by Goodell. Up the floor she comes. Feeds it to Shizik in the right corner. Long shot. Off the iron. No good. Rebound taken down by Hydorn. Feeds it to Keltner. Keltner hands it off to Shipman. And we're going to get a whistle, and I think it's a foul on Blaskowski. It is. That'll be foul number 6 on the Mounders. So both teams will be in the bonus from this point on. Shipman to inbound the ball. Gets it into Hydorn. Over to Keltner. Keltner feeds it over to Goodell on the left side. Goodell back over to the right side to Shipman. Drives down to the edge of the lane, puts it up, and they're going to get her with a travel. She did the same thing Blaskowski did down at the other end. Tapped that foot as she was trying to go up, and that's a travel. Inbound pass almost stolen by Hydorn. Mounders get it across the timeline with Shizik on the dribble on the right side. Feeds it between the circles to Blaskowski. Takes it over to the left. Back out high to Levera. Back to Blaskowski at the free throw line. Spins into the lane. Triple team there. Feeds it underneath to Stella Rude, who puts it up and in. We're all tied at 26. Vikings with the ball. Shipman with it. Puts on the afterburners. Gets across the timeline. Gets it out to Goodell. Cross-court pass to Keltner. Keltner drives into the lane. Puts it up. Ball's partially blocked. Down the floor come the Mounders. Yes. And running into Lydia Levera from behind is Keltner. Olsen and J.C. Bovee back into the lineup for the Vikings. Shot on the way by Levera is good. This is a 1-and-1. Mounders back on top, 27-26. Levera with her second shot. It's on the way, no good. Rebound taken down by Shipman, and down the floor she comes. Takes it down to the right side, tries to feed it underneath. Gets taken away by Rude over to Blaskowski. And down the floor come the Mounders. They get it off to the right side to Shizik, to Levera, free throw line, then gets it out to Blaskowski, puts up a 3, no good. Rebound taken down by Levera, feeds to Blaskowski, cutting into the lane. She gets it out to Levera at the free throw line, down underneath to Blaskowski, who lays it up and in. 29-26, Mounders up by 3. Hydorn with it, across the timeline. Feeds it over to Olsen in the center circle. She takes it over to the left side, drives all the way down to the baseline, feeds it to Hajdukovic. Turnaround jumper, no good. Rebound, and we're going to get a foul called. And Shipman's going to go to the line. Fouls on Blaskowski, it's her second. And Shipman's at the line for 2. First shot is up, it's no good. And the second shot. That one's also no good. So down the floor comes Blaskowski for the Mounders. They feed it over to Emery on the right side, back out to Levera at the top of the key. To Stella Rude on the left. Blaskowski now on the left wing. Over to Levera on the right. Levera back to Blaskowski, top of the key. To Emery, slightly to the right. Over to Rude in the right corner. Drives towards the baseline, loses the handle. And out of bounds, last touch by Stella Rude. It'll be Viking ball.
Yeah, good job by McKenna Shipman to get her hands in there and create a turnover.
Long throw down the floor to Hajdukovic. She went up to get it. We're going to get a whistle and a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of the Mounders. Brooke Emery to inbound it. Gets it to Blaskowski in the backcourt. She's guarded by Shipman. Across the timeline. On the right side, gets it out to Stella Rude high. They swing it around to the left side, back out to the top of the key. Shizik with a three-pointer, no good. Blaskowski with the putback, it's no good, but she got fouled by Shipman. That's the second foul on Shipman. 8th foul on the Vikings. Blaskowski to shoot 2. First shot is on the way, it's no good. 29-26. Mounders on top, 2:29 to go in the first half. Second shot on the way, that one's good. 30-26, 4-point game. Olsen to inbound, gets it into Hydorn. Hydorn dribbles it. Gets it to Shipman, it's in the backcourt. She loses the handle, Blaskowski with it, lays it up, and it goes in. 32-26, Mounders up by 6. Pass comes into Olsen, she gets it into the forecourt to Hajdukovic, back out to Olsen in the left corner. Back out high to Bovey. That's JC Bovey. Gets it out to Hydorn at the top of the key to Olsen on the right. To the edge of the lane to Hajdukovic, to Nigaman, back to Hajdukovic, turnaround hook shot, and that goes in. 32-28, Vikings cut it to 4, minute 45 to go. Shizik with it, into the forecourt. She's high, wide, and right. Over to the right, free throw line extended to the right, out to Stella Rude, to Levra, over to the left side to Shizik, to the top of the key to Emery. To Levra, on the right, back out to Emery, over to Blaskowski, from 3, she hit it. 35-28, 7-point lead for the Mounders. Bovey with it, gets it to Hydorn. Hydorn into the forecourt, feeds it to Hajdukovic. Gets it back out to Hydorn. Hydorn to Nigaman. To Olsen. Olsen drives towards the lane, puts it up and rattles it home. (35-30), Vikings cut it to 5. Down the floor to Blaskowski, feeds it to Rude underneath. She puts it up off the bottom of the backboard. It's out of bounds. It'll be Mounder ball. I think it was last touched by Nigaman. .34 and some change left in the first half. Roeder to inbound for the Mounders. She gets it into Blaskowski on the right side. Back out to Roeder, top of the key. To Levra. Over to Shizik on the left. Back to the top of the key to Blaskowski. Now over on the right side. Now back to the left side. Blaskowski drives the lane. Kicks it back out to Shizik on the right. 14 seconds left in the half. Shizik to Blaskowski. Free throw line extended right. She feeds it over to Rude, then to Shizik. Launches one, no good, and there's the buzzer to end the first half. So the score at the end of the first half, it's the Elk Mound Mounders 35, Vikings 30. Stay tuned, we have Viking halftime coming up, and our Viking halftime, Viking profile will be on McKenna Shipman tonight. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV and Viking TV.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
To get your lawn or garden to perform like you want, you first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know McKenna Shipman, who is a junior here at Colfax High School. And McKenna, we know that you play basketball, otherwise we wouldn't be standing here talking. But what are some other things that keep you busy here at school?
I play volleyball and softball also, and then I do lots of homework.
Okay, and that's the important part too.
Yep. And then I play with my niece a lot. I spend a lot of time with family.
Okay, very good. Very good. When did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been for you?
I started playing in about like second, third grade, and it's been exciting. It's fun to be around everyone and the bond we make.
Okay. And what's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
How to communicate with other people.
Okay. And I know that a little earlier I was talking with Jeanette, and we were talking about how that communication isn't always verbal, is it?
Nope.
Yeah, it can be a hand motion, it can be a head nod, and all of a sudden something happens, right?
Yep.
Okay. So when not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you occupied?
Lots of family time.
That's really important, and so I'm glad to hear you say that. All right, I've got some rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cake.
Which kind?
A vanilla cake with some kind of fruit filling.
Ooh, that sounds really good. If you come across that, bring some by. I'll help you sample it.
Okay.
Okay. Your favorite color and why?
Blue, probably. Just because I like it. I don't know.
That's as good a reason as you need. Okay, now if you could have a superpower, what do you think it would be?
Super speed.
Super speed. Okay, and you've got plenty of speed the way it is. So super speed, this could be hard to watch you on the floor. You'd just be so fast. Yep. Now, if you have that power of super speed, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with it. What is McKenna's superhero name?
Probably Cruisin' Kenna.
Cruisin' Kenna. I like that one. Okay. Favorite NBA or WNBA team?
The Bucks.
And collegiate team?
Probably the Badgers.
All right. Is there a basketball player that you paid attention to when you were younger that's kind of inspired the way you play your game?
Both my older siblings, so my brother and my sister.
Real good, and that's kind of a nice little shout out to the family. We're talking with McKenna Shipman today on Viking Profile. And McKenna, what are your plans for after high school?
Hopefully go to college and maybe study something in the medical field.
Okay. No idea about any specifics or anything yet?
Nope.
But you're only a junior, so you still got time.
Yep.
All right. How about a shout out to the rest of the family?
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for always supporting me and bringing me places.
Okay, very good. So when people watch Viking games, what number is McKenna wearing and what position are you playing?
I will be wearing 42, and I will be a shooting guard.
Okay. We want to thank McKenna Shipman for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Jason, let's go see your room.
How is it? Is it good?
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter which you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
And we're back here at Colfax High School as we're getting ready for the second half. Dan had his most recent get-rich-quick scheme fail again as they did a beanbag toss. Colfax and Elk Mound have a co-op for golf, and so the golf team for Colfax Elk Mound held a fundraiser beanbag toss, and Dan came up a little short.
That would have been a good little chip shot there on the golf course.
Yeah, good point. Well, I'll tell you what, Dan, why don't you earn your living here? Tell us how we got to this 35-30 score.
We'll switch sports. Here's the scores right now for Elk Mound. They have Tori Blaskowski with 9 points. We have Ellie Shizik with 6. We have Brooke Henry with 3. Allie Roeder with 1. Lydia Levera with 4. Carly Moore with 2. And Chloe Drummer with 4. And Stella Rude with 6. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led right now by number 42, McKenna Shipman. She has 9 points, followed by Jordan Bovey with 6. We have Autumn Nigaman with 5, Ainsley Olsen with 5, Jeanette Hajdukovic with 2, Meta Keltner with 2, and Molly Hydorn with 1. 35-30.
Come out. And I'm looking over to see who it's going to be. Same starting 5. Goodell, Bovey, Olsen, Hajdukovic, and Shipman. Ball comes in for the Vikings to Bovey. She brings it across the timeline. Between the circles, over to the right side to Shipman. Shipman to Olsen. Olsen takes it into the lane, pulls up a jumper, no good. Rebound taken down by Hajdukovic, gets it out to Shipman. Over to Bovey. She's on the left. Cross court to Goodell on the right. Feeds it to Shipman, cutting into the lane. Shots partially blocked. Mounders bring it back down the floor. Lever on the dribble on the left side. Feeds it over to Blaskowski. Drives down, puts it in. 37-30, Mounders on top. Hajdukovic with it. Gets it back over to Shipman across the timeline. She's at the free throw line, extended to the right. To Bovee, top of the key. Back to Goodell, into the lane to Olsen, puts it up. She got fouled going up. I think it's on Shizik. And it is.
That should be her third.
And Olsen goes to the line for 2. First shot is on the way. That's good. Olsen's second shot is up. It's good. 37-32. Vikings have it. Laskowski with the backcourt being guarded by Bovee. Gets it out to Emery. She gets it across the timeline to Levera. Levera at the top of the key, over to the right side to Shizik. Comes down the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken away by Olsen. She gets it to Bovee, and down the floor come the Vikings. Across the timeline, over to the right side. Free throw line extended. That's Shipman with it. Gets it out to Bovee. Drives into the lane. Feeds it to Hajdukovic, back out to Shipman. Puts up a 3, off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Rude. She gets it out to Blaskowski, who comes across the timeline on the left side. Out to Emery at the top of the key. Drives down the right side of the lane. We're going to get a whistle, and I think it's going to be a foul on Hajdukovic for the reach.
Where'd they get Ainsley? It is. It's on 14.
That's on Ainsley Olsen, her second. I didn't see that one at all.
Yeah, I saw Jeanette's hand on the ball.
Anyway, the Mounders have it. Laskowski in the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken away by Goodell. And the ball gets tipped out of bounds by Rude, and so it'll be Viking ball. Full court pressure being put on by the Mounders. Hajdukovic with it. Gets it back to Shipman, who's on the dribble, covered by Blaskowski. Shipman across the timeline, takes it to the top of the key, over to the right side, then to Goodell. Goodell to the free throw line. Takes it down the right side into the right corner, thought about the 3, gets it to Olsen in the lane, puts it up and rattles it home. Ainsley Olsen with 9 on the night. 37-34, Vikings cut it to 3. Shizik with it on the right side, takes it between the circles, over to Levera on the left, to Blaskowski on the left wing, back out. Now the Shizik has it, top of the key. To Levera, to Rude, at the top of the key, over to the left side to Shizik. Back to Emery, to Levera, to Blaskowski, to Emery, to Shizik, to Levera, to Blaskowski. Blaskowski feeds it down low to Rude. Out high to Emery, three-pointer is good. That was another example, Dan, of you were talking about how they move the ball around and around and around until they find the open person, and oftentimes that'll be from 3. Whistle and a foul on Blaskowski. It's her third.
Yeah, Elk Mound's all about patience. They took their time, found an open man, and got the open shot.
40-34, Mounders up by 6. Hydorn with it for the Vikings. Feeds it over to Olsen, high wide right. Back to Hydorn, right by the center circle. To the free throw line to Hajdukovic, underneath to Olsen, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Rude. Stella Rude having quite the impact on the boards tonight. Blaskowski with it over to the left side. Gets it out high to Levera. Back to Blaskowski, into the lane, puts it up. Shot got blocked. Second shot got blocked, and they're going to get Shipman for a foul. I usually don't argue with those calls, but boy, I'd like to know what part of her body got her, because the hand got all ball.
That's McKenna's third foul.
We weren't down there to see it up close, so maybe they're right, but boy, oh boy. Blaskowski sinks the first free throw. Yeah, folks, you should have seen it. Dan almost fell out of his seat on that one. Blaskowski's second shot is good. 42-34. Mounders up by 8. Ball goes into Hydorn. Across the timeline. Takes it over to the left side. Puts on the brakes. Gets it out to Olsen on the left. She drives towards the lane. Gets it out to Goodell. Drives into the lane. Puts it up. It's good. And she drew the harm. Kaysen Goodell.
Her first 2 points of the night.
Kaysen Goodell trying to get the three-pointer the hard way. Nigaman into the lineup, giving Olsen a break.
Lydia Lever on the foul for Elk Mound.
Shot goes up, it's good. 42-37. Vikings trail by 5. Across the timeline is Emery. Gets it to Blaskowski. Over to the left side to Levera. Back out to Emery. Then they swing it over to Blaskowski on the right. Out to Rug. High. Gets it over to Levera. Then to Shizik. To Emery. To Levera. To Blaskowski on the right. She goes to the free throw line. Tries to feed it down underneath to Rude. And it goes off her hands and out of bounds. So the Vikings have it. Mounders back off. So Hydorn brings it down to the timeline. She's going to be picked up when she crosses by Shizik. Feeds it over to Shipman. Taps it over to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic gets it to Goodell. Goodell with a three-pointer off the glass, no good. Rebound by Emery. Down the floor to Shizik. Shizik drives into the lane, lays it up. No good. We're going to get a foul, and it's on Hajdukovic. No, I take it back. Foul's on Hydorn. It's her first. Third team foul on the Vikings. Free throw is up and no good by Shizik. Into the lineup is Carly Moore. Stella Rude takes a seat. Second shot is up and good by Shizik. She has 7 points on the night. Hydorn across the timeline. And they're going to get her for a travel. She must have done an uneven jump stop or something. Blaskowski with it. Over to the left side to Levera. Back out to the top of the key to Blaskowski. Then to Shizik, three-pointer on the way. Ball gets tipped around. It's no good. Rebound by Shipman. To Hydorn. Hydorn back to Shipman. Shipman over onto the left side to Hajdukovic. Back out high to Goodell. Over to Shipman on the left to Hajdukovic. Back out to Hydorn. Hydorn to Shipman in the lane to Hajdukovic. She feeds it out to Goodell. Over to Nigaman on the right side. To Shipman. To Hajdukovic in the lane. She puts it up through the harm. Did not get the shot to go, but she's going to go to the line for two. Foul is going to be on Carly Moore. It's her first. Fourth team foul on the Mounders. Second shot on the way. That one's good. 43-39. Vikings have cut it to 4. Ball comes into Shizik in the backcourt. She's being guarded by Goodell. Coming up, gets picked up by Hajdukovic. Feeds it over to Lever on the left side. Cross-court pass over to Emery. Puts up a three. No. Rebound taken down by Moore, and she lays it up and in. 45-39. 11:53 remaining, and down the floor come the Vikings with Hydorn on the dribble. She gets it over to Goodell. Goodell to the free throw line. Over to Hydorn on the right. Hydorn drives down to the baseline. Now looking for help. Gets it out to Goodell. Goodell feeds it into the lane to Hajdukovic. She gets it out to Shipman. To Hydorn. to Nigaman on the left side, to Hajdukovic, out to Hydorn, to Nigaman. Nigaman gets it to Shipman. Shipman lays it up and in. The Vikings did a real nice job that time of overloading the left side, and the Mounders followed them except for Shipman, who snuck around on the right, and they found her. Moore with it, gets it out to Blaskowski, who drives into the lane, puts it up, and we're going to get a foul. Fouls on Hajdukovic. And Blaskowski's going to go to the line for two. Just over 11 minutes remaining. First shot's up and good. Olsen into the lineup for Nigaman for the Vikings. Second shot by Blaskowski is up, and that one rattles home. 47-46, or 47-41. Mounders on top. Hydorn with it, feeds it over to the right side to Goodell. Goodell to Nigaman at the free throw line. Feeds it into the lane to Hajdukovic. Can't quite find the handle, and the Mounders come away with it. Blaskowski on the dribble on the right side, takes it into the lane. Underneath to Moore, who lays it up and in. Carly Moore finding herself open underneath, and the Vikings want to talk about how that's happening. 10:34 to go, and it's the Mounders 49, Vikings 41. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Back here at Colfax High School as the Vikings have the ball. Hydorn on the dribble. Across the timeline, Vikings trailing by 8. Get it to Goodell, to Hajdukovic. Lays it up with that hook shot. It rimmed around and around and around and finally went down. 10:18 remaining. Vikings trail by 6. Mounders with it with Blaskowski on the right. To Moore at the top of the key. To Levra, over to Shizik on the left side. Back to Levra, slightly to the right. To Blaskowski, back over to the left side now to Shizik. Out high to Dummer. Back to Blaskowski. To Moore, and then they get it down to Dummer, and then out high to Shizik. Shizik to Moore, to Levra, to Blaskowski. To Dummer and to Shizik, and Shizik lost the handle. Vikings take it away, and down the floor they come. 9:30 remaining. In the right corner, Goodell with the ball. Gets it out to Olsen at the top of the key. Launches a three up. A little bit short, and then saved in bounds. Shipman has it. Shipman out at the top of the key. Gets it over to Hydorn. Hydorn out to Goodell. Goodell over to Shipman. On the left side. Back out. Hydorn, she lost it. Olsen picked it up, and now they get it down to Goodell in the right corner. Back out to Olsen. To Shipman, to Hajdukovic. Back out to Shipman. Back underneath to Hajdukovic. To Shipman. Gets it out to Olsen, puts it up. Oh, check that, that's Goodell with a three-pointer. Cuts the lead to 3, 49-46. They feed it down underneath, and the shot got blocked by Hajdukovic. She came down with it out of bounds, but a real nice shot block by Hajdukovic on Chloe Dummer. So Shizik to inbound for the Mounders. Gets it into Stella Rude. Out to Blaskowski. Now they get it over on the right side to Shizik. Puts up a three off the iron, no good. Blaskowski's shot gets blocked. And her second shot gets blocked. 2 blocked shots. And then we get a foul called. McKenna Shipman with 2 block shots and a foul being called on Brooke Emery. It's her third. Mounders putting on pressure. Pass comes into Olsen. Back to Shipman. Shipman down the floor, across the timeline. Down into the right corner. The three-pointer's up, no good. Olsen with the putback, and she got fouled. The three-pointer was by Heidorn. Olsen got the rebound, went right back up with it, and drew the foul. Fouls on Stella Rude. It's her first. That's a 6th team foul. Shot goes up and in by Olsen. 49-47. Second shot on the way. It's good. Vikings have cut the Mounder lead to 1. Blaskowski with it. Gets it to Shizik. She quickly down the floor. They feed it to Cross underneath, and it goes up and in. That's Allie Roeder with the shot. 51-48, 3-point game. 7:57 remaining. Shipman with it. We're going to get a whistle and a foul on Shizik for a reach.
If that's Shizik, it is Shizik, her 4th.
Yes, that's the 4th foul on Shizik. So she's going to take a seat. Levera comes back into the lineup. Shot goes up. It's no good. And the rebound by Blaskowski to Stella Rude. Drives the lane, lays it up, and puts it in. Stella Rude with some nice ball control as she cut down through the lane and paid off for 2 points. 5-point lead now for the Mounders. Shipman with it over to the left side. Feeds it to Hajdukovic. Lays it up and puts it in. 3-point game. 53-50. Mounders on top. Pass gets intercepted by Heidorn. Feeds it over to Shipman. Lays it up and puts it in. Vikings are within 1, and the Mounders want to talk things over as you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
A high-deductible health plan opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
If you've been admiring the freshly groomed look of a baseball field, or the stunning appearance of a golf course, remember you too can have along with the same beauty by simply calling Midwest Environmental Consultants. Their professional lawn care experts can bring your lawn to its full beauty and appearance. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your lawn the showplace of the neighborhood.
Mounders to inbound the ball as the Vikings have closed the lead to 1 point, 53-52. 7:15 remaining in this one in regulation time. Mounders get it into the forecourt. Stella Rude with it. Feeds it to Blaskowski in the lane. She lays it up, puts it in. Heidorn with it for the Vikings, 55-52. Vikings trail by 3. Feeds it to Olsen. Olsen puts it up off the back of the air. No good. Hajdukovic with the rebound. Gets it out to Shipman. To Olsen. Thought about the 3. Drives into the lane. Puts it up. No good. Off the back of the iron. Hajdukovic puts it back up and in. 55-54. We were hoping for a close one, Dan. I think we've got her. Rude with it. Then they get it over to the right side, Roeder. Then they feed it down underneath, and the layup by Rude is no good. Vikings come away with it. Godell has it on the right side. Feeds it over to Olsen on the left. Down to Hydorn in the left corner. She dribbles it back out, feeds it to Olsen underneath. Gets it back out to Hydorn. Cross court over to Hajdukovic. To Shipman on the right side. To Goodell. Goodell takes it into the lane, puts it up, no good. Hajdukovic with it, and she got fouled going up. And the foul is going to be on Allie Roeder. It's her first, but more importantly, it's the 8th foul on the Mounders. Hajdukovic shooting 2. First one's up, no good. Take a deep breath. Jeanette, take a deep breath.
Jeanette's 2 for 3 from the line tonight.
And 2 for 4.
2 for 4.
And the Mounders come down the floor. 3-pointer long way by Shizik. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Hydorn. Hydorn down the floor into the forecourt. She stops. And we got, and the Viking fans are livid because Shizik put her arm around the neck of Hydorn, pulled her backwards and caused the travel, and they called the traveling call. Viking fans were absolutely livid. Blaskowski with it on the right side, gets it out high to Levra, over to Emery. Emery with a shot, it's good, that was inside the arc. 57-54. Hydorn with it. To Olsen. Olsen drives into the lane. And we're going to get a foul called on Brooke Emery for grabbing the arm of Olsen as she was trying to go up with a layup.
Falls on 21.
Oh, I'm mistaken there. It fouls on Carly Moore. It's her second, 9th foul on the Mounders. First shot by Olsen is off the back of the iron, no good. You were saying it's going to be a game of free throws, weren't you?
I wasn't going to jinx her. She's 5 for 6 from the line, and she was coming 5 for 5.
Next shot is good. 6 for 7?
6 for 7 for Ainsley Olsen from the free throw line.
And a total of 12 points so far on the night. Shizik on the dribble. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining. 2-point game. Blaskowski with it out to Lever at top of the key. Over to Shizik on the right. Back out high to Moore. Then over to Levera. Levera on the left. Gets it out to Shizik. Over to Blaskowski on the right.
Elk Mount's going to try to work it inside.
Over to Emery. And back to Blaskowski. Over to the left side to Levera.
They're going to try to get
patient.
it. Carly Moore.
Blaskowski to Shizik. Shizik's on the right. She takes it to the top of the key. Blaskowski from the left side, off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Goodell. Gets it over to Shipman. 4:13 remaining. Shipman drives down to the right baseline. Gets it out to Olsen, high, wide, and right. Over to Goodell. Between the circles, back over to Shipman on the right side. Tries to drive down low, gets it back out high to Olsen. Olsen gets it over to Hajdukovic on the left. Then to Goodell on the left wing. And we're going to get a reaching foul called on Carly Moore. That's going to put Goodell to the line for 2 because the Vikings will be in the double bonus. Case and Goodell. First shot's on the way, nothing but net. 57-56, 3:45 to go. And the second shot is up, off the iron, no good. It hit the back, it hit the front, and then it hit the floor. So the Mounders have the ball with a 1-point lead. Levera feeds it into the lane to Blaskowski. Out high to Shizik. To Emery. Back over to Levera on the left side to Blaskowski. To Emery. Over to the right side to Levera. To Rude, to Levera. Over to Shizik. Shizik to Blaskowski. Blaskowski gets it over to Levera, to Shizik, to Rude, to Blaskowski. Then down low to Rude, back out high to Emery. Three-pointer on the way is no good. Rebound taken down by Goodell. She gets it to Shipman. Vikings coming down the floor, looking to capture the lead. 2:45 remaining. Shipman gets it over to Goodell on the right side, back out high to Hydorn. Over to Olsen on the right. To Shipman, to Goodell, or check that, that's to Hydorn, to Hajdukovic. Now Goodell has it at the free throw line, spinning into the lane, and we're going to get a travel call. Goodell looked to pass and ended up going to a knee, and that's a travel. So Blaskowski has it in the backcourt, coming up on 2 minutes remaining in a 1-point ball game. Blaskowski with it on the left side. Back out high and over to the right side to Levera, to Emery, to Blaskowski, to Shizik. Back out to Rude. Now Blaskowski has it on the right, top of the key. Ball gets knocked away and taken away by Shipman. Minute 48 remaining. Shipman feeds it over to Hydorn. Hydorn launches a three. No, it doesn't go. And the rebound taken down by Levera. Mounders with it. Down the floor comes Blaskowski. Coming up on a minute and a half, and the Mounders want to talk about their end-of-game strategy. So with a minute 33 to go, it's the Mounders 57, Vikings 56. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Join us on NLWN-2 for exciting Colfax High School boys basketball.
This is what we came in for!
Our next game will be on Tuesday, February 9th, when the Vikings play host to the Spring Valley Cardinals. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-2 begins with Viking pregame at 6:50 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 on Tuesday, February 9th.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV for exciting Colfax High School girls basketball. Our next game will be on Friday, February 10th, when the Vikings will travel to Elmwood to take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:50 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV on Friday, February 10th.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Mounders have the ball. Just under a minute and a half remaining. Levera with it. Passes out to Shizik, who almost lost the handle. To Blaskowski on the left side. Closely guarded there. She tries the baseline, feeds it to Rude. Misses the open layup, gets the ball back, puts it up, no good. Rebound by Olsen. Gets it out to Hajdukovic, and here come the Vikings. And the Vikings want to talk about their plans, and they're going to do just that with a minute 5 remaining. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN-TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Vikings trail by 1 as they're in a timeout. Dan, what's the foul situation looking like right now?
Elk Mound has 10 fouls. Colfax has 4 with 57-56. Elk Mound, or Colfax is going to have to get some fouls here. If they don't get a shot off, they're going to have to start fouling.
Yeah, they've got a couple fouls to give before they can put Elk Mound in the bonus. Hydorn with it for the Vikings across the timeline. Maybe they can put some points up here and not worry about fouling. Shipman with it, loses the handle and goes right into the hands of the Mounders. Shipman tried that cut through the lane and it went right through her hands. Blaskowski with it. Between the circles, feeds it over to Shizik. 42 seconds remaining. Over to Blaskowski on the left side. Taking it down the baseline, and we're going to get a timeout call by the Mounders. And I think we're going to keep it right here. Dan, I think you're right. The Vikings need to start committing those fouls and not waste any time. Just go and do it so that they have the opportunity to put the Mounders to the line.
Yeah, right. They got 36 seconds left in the game. They got to give 3 more fouls yet. And, yeah, they got to get Elk Mound to the line.
And they've got to take care of the ball when they have it. Shipman had one of her favorite plays where she cuts through the lane and it just went right through her hands. I think what happened there is she was looking to go up with the ball before she actually secured the ball.
Yeah, there was pressure down there.
Mounders inbound it. Emery feeds it into Blaskowski. She's on the left side. Gets it out high to Moore. Then out to Lydia Lebra. We're going to get a foul on Ainsley Olsen. That's one of those fouls to give. So it'll be on the side. That's the 3rd foul on Olsen. Moore with it and gets it to Blaskowski, who's fouled immediately. 29 seconds left. That's a foul by Goodell. It's her 2nd. That's the 6th. So now the Mounders will be in the bonus from this point on. Moore with it, gets it into Blaskowski, and she gets fouled by Goodell with 26.9 seconds remaining. Tori Blaskowski to go to the line for the 1-and-1. First shot on the way. That one rattles home. 58-56.
She's 7
Still
for 8.
a 1-possession game. Second shot on the way. That one's also good, but it's still a 1-possession game. 59-56. Vikings with the ball. Hydorn brings it down the floor, gets it through the center circle, over to Goodell on the right side. 20 seconds remaining. And the pass got tipped, chased down, and Goodell picks it up. Feeds it over to Olsen.
They're going to have to play for
10
1.
seconds remaining. And the Vikings want to talk about it with 8.4 remaining. Vikings down by 3. So who's going to hit the 3-pointer tonight, Dan?
You know, I would go with somebody kind of off the wall. I would maybe look for Ainsley. You know who I'd like to see him throw in is Autumn Nigaman. She has a great 3-point shot. She probably isn't going to go in, but I'm thinking Ainsley.
Okay, that's
Ainsley,
where Dan's money is.
Ainsley's first. I say McKenna's second.
And maybe Kaysen Goodell. She likes to pop them from out there.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
They can,
Vikings trying to figure something out. They're going to have to come up with a 3-point play here.
Yeah, Colfax has 1 timeout left. They can get a look at the Elk Mound defense, and then they can use that timeout.
Another one.
Right.
So the Vikings back out on the floor. They're going to inbound the ball from the near side. Goodell to inbound it. 8.4 seconds remaining. Ball comes into it, and the pass was just a little bit wide of Shipman, and it went out of bounds. Pass comes in by the Mounders, and getting fouled immediately by Goodell was Blaskowski. She'll go to the line for the 1-and-1. Here comes the shot. No good. Rebound taken down by Hajdukovic. Feeding it to Heidorn. 2 seconds remaining. Olsen got fouled, and they didn't call it. She tried to drive and got tripped going down the baseline. The buzzer goes off, and that's the end of it. So the final score, Elk Mound Mounders 59, Vikings 56 in a whale of a basketball game. And we'll have all the details for you coming up on Viking Postgame. You're tuned to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Viking Girls Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game, where we'll take a look back at today's Viking game.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. And now, Viking Postgame.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, where the Vikings drop a close one. An edge-of-the-cedar game, 59-56 to the Elk Mound Mounders. They gave the Mounders everything they could handle tonight. Vikings moved their record to 14-6 overall, 9-3 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference. Mounders are 20-1 on the season, 12-0 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference, and it took every bit of that 12-0 for the Mounders to stay unbeaten in the conference tonight, because the Vikings gave them everything they could handle.
Yeah, good job by Colfax to stay in this game. You know, at that start, Elk Mound started to get hot from the outside, which I thought was going to happen. And good job for Colfax just to be patient, made those just adjustments at halftime, and stuck it out to the end.
And some cases of not being able to hang on to the ball, errant passes.
Missed free throws.
Yeah.
I was just counting these up right now. So, yeah, just, I mean, nothing crazy, but when it's going to be this close, every point counts tonight.
And every mishandle of the ball counts, and there were several in the first half where ball went through hands. There were a couple in the second half where the ball went right through some hands or passes that were off the mark, and they were little things. And that's what cost the Vikings tonight by 3 points.
Yeah, I noticed that both teams, once they would settle down, get into their half-court offense, then they could actually do something. And, yeah, Colfax did a great job on the inside tonight. Elk Mound did a really good job on Colfax did a good job on the inside. Elk Mound did a good job on the outside. And, just came down to the wire.
Well, we're expecting Coach Serrar to come up here at some point, and I'll tell you what, in the time while we're waiting for her to come up, we'll take this brief time out. You're tuned to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 are proud to announce that this spring they will be your viewing home for Eau Claire Cowboys football. Check out www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for times and dates. That's Eau Claire Cowboy football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker hordes.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, and about to join us here is Viking head coach Courtney Serrar. And Coach, so tantalizingly close.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that was, that's the kind of game that we're capable of. We can play with anybody when we're, clicking on all cylinders, and, the energy is there and the effort is there, and the girls believe in themselves. We can play with anybody.
Well, and the Mounders, they're unbeaten in the conference. They're now 20-1 overall, and it took every bit of what they had to hold off your Viking girls tonight, because you guys gave them everything they could ask for.
Yeah, they're a good team, and they're 20-1 for a reason, and, Jordan does a good job with them, and, they can play. They got kids who can shoot and score, and, I thought that Blaskowski played really well. I thought we did a great job handling Shizik, and, I really thought that, Kenna, Jeanette, and Ainsley played a whale of a game. They came ready to play. I thought Molly was super impressive for her first game back, and, Kaysen did a lot of good things too. I think the one thing that hurt us is just, we didn't execute down the stretch. We had a couple too many turnovers, but, I was happy with...
That errant inbound pass over on this side did not help with 8 seconds remaining. But, there were other things that happened as well. That was not the thing that cost you the game.
No, yeah, for sure. I thought, we had plenty of opportunities to capitalize, but that's how you learn. And, I'm hoping that we, take what we've seen tonight and use it moving forward into the rest of conference play and playoffs. And overall, I thought, the girls played hard. They played their hearts out, and that's, as a coach, that's, all you can ask for.
Dan made a comment very early in the game as we were just getting ready for the game to start. He talked about how it could be a case of who hits their free throws. Well, Elk Mound was 11 for 18, and the Vikings were, or check that, Elk Mound was 13 of 18, and the Vikings were 11 of 19. There's 3 points there. And, yeah, that's going to happen. You take a deep breath, make those shots count, and oh, so close.
Yep, yeah, for sure.
Well, okay, so 14-6 on the season, 9-3 in the conference, and heading to Friday.
Yep.
So, and we'll, of course, talk about that as we get ready. Thank you for joining us today on Viking Post Game. That's Coach Courtney Serrar, head coach of the Colfax Vikings, and we'll have more Viking postgame right after this timeout.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Vikings drop a close one to the Elk Mound Mounders, 59-56. Dan, why don't you give us the numbers on that?
Yeah, here's the scores for Elk Mound tonight. They're led by number 23, Tori Blaskowski, with 19. Then we had Emery with 8, Shizik with 7, Roeder with 3, Lever with 4, Moore with 6, Dummer with 4, and Rude with 8. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led by number 42, McKenna Shipman. She had 13. Then we had Jeanette Hajdukovic with 12. We had Jordan Bovey with 12. No, sorry. Jordan Bovey with 6. We had Autumn Nigaman with 10. Sorry, everybody. I wrote in the wrong spot today. I think I've been up too late. Autumn had 5. We had Keltner with 2. Ainsley Olsen had 12. Molly Hydron had 1. And Kason Goodell had 7.
And that all adds up to a 59-56 loss for the Vikings, but that was a heck of a ball game tonight, Dan. And one of the things I want to point out, the Viking defense really played well. Ellie Shizik is averaging 15 points a game on the season, and the Vikings held her to 7. So they did a really nice job on that. Tori Blaskowski stepped up and put in 19, and she's generally averaging almost 12. So she outdid her average, but the girls did a good job of holding Shizik down.
Yeah, right. In the first half, Elk Mound had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threes. In the second half, 1.
So the Vikings figured out how to cover those threes, and I see a lot of Viking players and Elk Mound players chatting with each other as they pass by each other on the floor. This is a crosstown rivalry. It's a healthy rivalry, and these kids have a lot of respect for each other, and that's what makes the Viking Mounder basketball games so much fun. And tonight, it was a great basketball game on top of all that.
Yeah, both teams always give their all, and they did tonight.
And we have more Viking basketball coming up. Don't forget to join us on NLWN-2 and the Northern Light Webcasting Network on Thursday, that's the 9th, as the Viking boys are going to host the Spring Valley Cardinals in a Dunn-St. Croix Conference battle. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at 6:50. That'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax boys basketball Thursday, February 9th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2. And then join NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network on Friday. That's the 10th, as the Viking girls are going to travel over to Elmwood to take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Live coverage begins with Viking pregame beginning at 6:50, and that'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax girls basketball on Friday, February 10th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Also, the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV are excited to once again be your home for Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. You know, Dan, I've been taking a look at some of last season's Cavalier games just to kind of get the feel for it again. We had a good time last year, and we're going to have another one this year, I can tell. And you can follow the Cavs throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. And don't forget about Eau Claire's reborn semi-pro football team, the Eau Claire Cowboys. The NLWN-2, along with the Northern Light Webcasting Network, are excited to be your broadcast home for Cowboy football. Follow the Eau Claire Cowboys throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2. Tonight's Colfax High School basketball game has been brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley. Anderson Bridges, who've been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax with drinks that taste as good as their names sound. Plus, they're healthy. So be sure to thank these fine sponsors. Stop by, visit them for bringing you Colfax Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV. For Dan Petchow and Jeff Gust on the camera, this is Rick Olson. Final score once again, Elk Mound Mounders 59, Vikings 56. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.